he was kind of pissed. He goes and tells all of his friends, fucking DeFranco kicked me out of the gym. This whole kind of blown out of proportion story happens that, like the telephone game when you're kids. But to all the high school kids that are really into training, the meatheads and the kids that were really into like a quote unquote hardcore gym, they looked at that as a positive, like, yo, there's a place where if you don't work hard, if you don't get after it, they kick you out. I want to fucking go there. If people like you, that's great, they'll listen to you, but if they trust you, then they will do business with you. And earning trust, that's kind of the final piece of the know-like trust deal. And I talked about being transparent, and I think that's number one. Showing vulnerability is a big part of people starting to trust you. Being transparent and being honest goes hand in hand with that. The significance of the elephant in the room right there and that quote, but where's the rest of the facility? I may have told this story too before, but it's another life-changing, business-changing story. I'll give you the quick version. When I first started in the storage closet, and I was training those kids from Bergen Catholic for free to try to get more high school kids in. Once Brian Cushing came, and now I started meeting with more parents who would come in to, take a tour of my facility. They don't know that it's a storage closet. They just know this DeFranco's gym is creating a buzz. All the best football players train there. Kids get jacked there. That's now the place to be. We got to go to DeFranco's. Let's go check this place out. Everyone would walk in and they would all do the same thing. They would kind of like look around. This door right here that says keep out, right on the other side is a toilet. That was the bathroom. Literally the shitter was right there. It stunk in here. That was the bathroom to the health club. That was permanently locked and shut. But just as a side note, you could put a drywall in between a shitter and a gym, your gym's gonna still smell like shit. And that's what this back room smelled like. So you have a storage closet that stinks like shit, but it's creating a buzz. But when you get there for the first time, parents would come in and they're used to, the SAC facilities were big at this time, the speed, agility, and quickness, the nice turf field, big gym, tens of thousands of square feet, air conditioning, the whole deal. You walk into here, that was always the quote. They would peek their head around thinking there was something else and it was just a wall, and they would go, where's the rest of the facility? And I've told this story in the beginning, like any other business owner, I needed money. I'm just paying my bills at this point. My overhead's just about $1,500 total, which I thought was so much money at the time. Once you start growing a real business, you realize it's nothing. But I'm paying my bills, I'm doing okay, but I need more clients. I definitely need more business. So I had this one parent in particular that was she was busting my balls. It was, where's the rest of your facility? This is it, but where do you run? How do you do this? Why is it so small? Do you have air conditioning? All the shit that pisses me off. But instead of being transparent, I needed money. I lived on my own at this point, I had my own apartment. Shit ain't cheap in New Jersey. I saw dollar signs when she walked in. So instead of being honest, I basically answered every one of her questions with the things I thought she wanted me to say. So, it was, oh, well, we'll probably be moving into a bigger facility soon. Oh, and we need to run. I go to the park. I meet your son at the park, which I wasn't doing at the time. Oh, we could use the parking lot, which wasn't available because it was too packed. I was just telling her all the shit she wanted to hear. Meanwhile, the son's disinterested. He's just kind of looking around. You could tell he's not my type of client that I want. I get her to sign up. I still never forget, 24 sessions. I was still doing per session at the time. $850, 24 sessions. I got a check for $850. Get the kid in the facility. He starts training the next week. The worst hour of the day, three days a week. 6:30, this kid came in, and it was a fucking nightmare. He didn't want to train. He was complaining. The mom would stay and just kind of watch over my shoulder. My life was miserable. 2 weeks, 6 sessions. I said, fuck it. I'm not going to be miserable. Like, part of, at least at the time, I thought having my own business was to be happy, and I'm not going to do anything I don't want to do, which that's not completely true. But I wanted to not do this, and I was like, I'm getting rid of this. This kid's a cancer. It's the one session in here that sucks. It's everything I'm not about. So that next session, the dad brought the kid on that particular day. I do the session. At the end of the session, I ask if I could talk to the father. I tell the dad, basically, this isn't the place for your son. I'm not the right trainer for him. He's not a great fit for this facility. It's my fault. When I spoke to your wife, I should have told her at the time. I wasn't honest with you. The fact of the matter is that I'm not planning on moving into a bigger facility. We don't meet at another facility to do our speed training. I focus on strength training, flexibility. I help kids with a little bit of nutrition. I attract a self-motivated type of athlete in here. The facility is small, quite frankly, because I have no money, because I worked for somebody else for the last 4 years. I didn't make a lot of money. My main goal is to help people. I want to train kids that want to be helped, and they're not about the bells and whistles. They don't give a shit about the size of the facility. They care about the people in the facility. Because of that, this isn't the place for you, this isn't the best place for you. I even recommended 2 gyms. I said, no disrespect, in all honesty, Gym A and Gym B are better than me for what your son needs. Wrote a check, $850. I didn't even charge him for the 6 session that the kid did. Gave him his money back. I didn't think much of it, besides I was so relieved driving home that day. It was kind of an awkward conversation. It definitely wasn't easy. Like, I'm not someone who enjoys conflict, so I was like, it wasn't easy. I was dreading that conversation. But I got it done. When he left, I felt relieved. Meanwhile, what I didn't think was going to happen was, within 2 days, business exploded, because the kid went back to his high school, and he was kind of pissed. He goes and tells all of his friends, fucking DeFranco kicked me out of the gym. This whole kind of blown out of proportion story happens, that, like the telephone game when you're kids. But to all the high school kids that are really into training, the meatheads and the kids that were really into like a quote unquote hardcore gym, they looked at that as a positive. Like, yo, there's a place where if you don't work hard, if you don't get after it, they kick you out. I want to fucking go there. So now my phone's ringing off the hook with all these top athletes saying, what's the process? What's the evaluation process? Can I come in for my screening? I didn't even have a screening at the time. They're like, how do I get in? It was like a fraternity. It created this aura. And then people wanted to come. What started out as the elephant in the room, the gym being really small, turned out to be the exact thing that people came to see. Is this place really a fucking storage closet? Because now there's the top high school athletes. Guys from the New York Giants started training with me. And now parents started bringing their kids just to see if it was really a storage closet. And it became cool just because it was so different from what everybody else was doing. That wasn't part of my master plan. I just decided, instead of lying and kind of stretching the truth and telling people what they want to hear, I'm just going to be honest. It requires so much less energy and stress. I'm just going to be transparent, tell it like it is. That's one of the top 3 incidences, or one of the top 3 days in my business in 20 years. If you said, hey, name three things that happened to you that took your business to the next level, quote unquote, kicking that kid out of the gym. If it's not number 1, it's top 3. So, importance of being transparent. Speaking of which, the other thing that goes hand in hand with being transparent is being authentic, being yourself. I always like to give examples. At that time, this kid was one of my clients, a high school football player from New Jersey. Name is Eric Arndt. This was him then.